This summer has been brutal throughout the country as far as the heat is concerned. But if you're a miner, underground or surface, you know that heat can be deadly almost any time. MSHA, the Mine Safety and Health Administration, reminds us of this every summer, especially in July and August. Here are some tips that the agency offers for mine operators and miners. First, provide a work-rest regimen. Get acclimated to the heat over a 1 to 2 week period, and then take frequent breaks and reasonably short work periods. Pace your tasks to avoid exhaustion. Perform heavy tasks in cooler areas or at cooler times. Rotate personnel on hot jobs. Provide readily accessible cooler rest areas, 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and provide cool drinking water, 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Encourage or require all workers to drink a cup of water every 15 to 20 minutes. Avoid drinks with caffeine, alcohol, and large amounts of sugar. Drink lightly salted water, 1 level tablespoon of salt per 15 quarts of water. Caution miners against drinking extreme amounts of water, generally no more than 12 quarts over a 24-hour period. Provide sun blockers and proper protective clothing for miners working in the sun.
Now, Stephen Gigliotti is the Chief of Safety Enforcement at MSHA. He and I talked about the dangers of heat a few days ago.
He's going to tell us some do's and don'ts that you should know right now.
The agency, MSHA, we put out a heat stress alert, usually every year about this time during the hottest months. And we have over 12,000 surface and underground facilities throughout the 50 states. We mine in all 50 states, and MSHA enforces the law in all those states. We had one fatal back in 2009 where an underground coal miner in Alabama was overcome with heat stress and humidity. So we have that as historical perspective. And just recently, and we get these from time to time, but just recently we had a escalation report or a complaint from a miner that the water truck wasn't working and the roads were really dusty, nobody could see, and it was getting dangerous. And usually we get those kind of things, but you got to make sure that the air conditioning systems are working in the equipment, because if not, you're going to get overexposed if you're inside the equipment, because you'll roll down the window because it'll be so hot. You'll be overexposed to dust. So you got to make sure that the equipment has proper air conditioning and the seals around the windows are good, and that you won't be overexposed to dust. If a worker does show signs of heat stress, there's certain things that you want to do and certain things you don't want to do. The do's are pretty obvious. You want to move the victim from the heat. You want to apply cool wet cloths. You want to fan the victim but stop if goosebumps or shivers develop. You want to give water to the victim and seek medical attention if there's no improvement. The don'ts, if they show signs of heat stress, you don't want to give any stimulant, alcohol, or cigarettes. You don't want to apply ice directly to the skin. You don't want to allow the victim to become so cold that shivering starts, and you don't want to leave the victim alone. Normally, the miners will have their own water, with them, and with their lunch and all that. But again, our regs require an adequate supply of potable water be accessible to miners when they're in the area when they're working. So that's both surface and underground facilities. So it's required by law, but most miners will carry their own. You get into real hot situations, you need to replace those electrolytes. So that's where the salt, a little bit of salt, tablespoon of salt gets in 15 quarts of water. So it's lightly salted, but you don't want to get too high in the salt, but you have to replace those electrolytes. Sometimes water, if you lose so much fluid, water won't do it anymore. You have to, because you've really taxed your body. You have to put some minerals back in your system. Yeah, the owners and mine operators, supervisors will, it's on a mine by mine basis, but if you, especially if you're down south and you're in the real hot areas, that we would, depending on the mine, we may have it in their training plan, a hazard training plan. You have to, train these miners to look for the signs of heat stress and how to prevent it. And we also have in our regs that we're required to, the operators are required to have potable water on site, both underground and surface, an adequate supply. Ultimately, it's on the mine operator because it's their mines, but we'll enforce that provision of the law about the potable water and the training plans. Well, we have several factors that we use to identify a hot mine, or factors to help us identify the different criteria: the hot air temperatures, the hot surface temperature, high humidity, and relatively low air movement. And you can have any combination of these could lead to some heat-related issues. In general, the higher the humidity, though, it goes along with the temperature, you're going to have some dangerous areas that you got to be cognizant of, and make sure miners are thinking about working out in the heat or underground and in the heat, and taking care of themselves. If you have an actual injury or illness due to heat stress, and it occurs at the mine, then yeah, you have to report a Part 50 regulation.
The fact is, if you're a miner, you need to take extreme heat seriously all the time. If you're a mine operator, owner, or supervisor, you need to do everything you can to help prevent heat stress, heat stroke, and heat-related illnesses in your workforce. All right, now it's time to take a quick look at CORESafety's module number 8, collaboration and communication. Here we go.
One of the most important forms of communication is collaboration, involving managers, miners, other workers, and stakeholders in the safety decision-making and problem-solving process. Whether discussing standard operating procedures, how to minimize risk in a non-routine task, reinforcing safe behavior among two coworkers, or participating in a safety meeting, communication is critical and should be managed accordingly. Two-way communication increases involvement and participation in the safety and health management processes. The goal is to have the highest percentage of any operations workforce involved in those processes. Decision-making and problem-solving for safety and health should not be the exclusive right or responsibility of management. Consultation within the workforce is one of the best ways to promote feedback regarding safety and health activities and to gain buy-in. All company employees, regardless of their title or function, should be involved in safety and health management by carrying out their designated responsibilities. In all cases, communication should be open, transparent, mutual, and as frequent as possible. Leaders should seek out every opportunity to communicate their vision and personal commitment to safety and health, as well as the appropriate way to work to achieve the 055 goal.
To learn more about module number 8 and about CORESafety, I encourage you to get on the internet and visit us at CORESafety.org. And next month, we'll check out module number 9, reinforcement and recognition. In the meantime, please be sure to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter for more mine safety information. Definitely worth your time. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you here again next month. On behalf of CORESafety and the National Mining Association, I'm Nelson Duffel. Please be safe out there in that heat and as you're doing your jobs every day. And thanks for watching. Special thanks to the Mine Safety and Health Administration, MSHA, and to Stephen Gigliotti for this month's interview.
To share one of your safety stories, videos, or photos, email us at info@CORESafetyTV.org.